So it's a nice day today for working on staining the arbor. And I got my pieces right here and right over there. So during the winter months when I was putting it together, I realized that I've got no room in a shop because it's going to be too high. So what I had to do is I had to break it down. Each side is in two pieces, and then I'd be able to get it out of the shop. So couldn't stain anything in the winter time. It was too cold and the stain wouldn't set. So you had to wait until springtime, but then springtime came and I had to work on the drainage. So that took a while. And then we went on vacation. We went to Lake Baikal. So that happened. Now I have some time and I'm back into this. So I already stained one run through. So I'm going to be doing the second coat. And hopefully I can get everything done. I got all the little pieces. There's just some of them right there. So there are a lot of pieces that have to be stained for the second time. Then I'll be able to put it together, and it's going to go right over here. So it's going to be the entrance into my work area. So you got to do what you got to do. So nice day. Check this out. We've got the blue sky, the famous Khabarovsk blue sky. Check that out. No chemtrails. Very, very nice. All right, let's get to work. When I'm staining my pieces for the arbor, I put them up against the ladder over here and I pounded a couple nails in so that I can hold the pieces so that they don't touch the ground. And then I run my stain through them and then I turn around, do the other side. And I am using this right here. It's called Lake 90. Husky brand. So there it is. Yeah, and before I started staining, so all the pieces were sanded down and I gave it that burn look, so I ran a torch through them and it raises the grain and makes it look really, really good. So by staining it, it not only darkens it, but it also protects the wood so that it will last. Instead of 2-3 years, I can get probably 7 years out of it, because it's going to be repelling the rain and the moisture, which eventually, if you don't take care of it, it's just going to start rotting. So there it is. All right, back to staining. I have another little job that I want to do, so I'm going to turn the camera around, show you what I'm talking about. Once I assemble my arbor, it is going to be positioned right over here. So that bush right there, I'm going to have to dig that out, but that's going to be in the fall time. But this area right here has this little lip right here. So I got to take the shovel and I got to clear everything off. Plus it dips down a bit, so I need to make sure that everything is level. I might end up taking some dirt from the garden over there and hauling it over here on the wheelbarrow and flattening this out. Once this area is all flattened, then I can assemble my arbor right over here and I'll have a nice wide walkway that is going to be level instead of having this little lip. All right, let's go to work. This is looking much better now that this section right here that had this little hump, that's all taken down. And I raked it out. And by raking it back and forth, you loosen up all the weeds and all the roots, the little roots I had to pull out. And there it is. But I am still short a little bit right over here. So I'm going to have to haul this away to the burn pile, which is way out over there by the creek. And that old potato patch where I am extending the lawn, there are some humps there. I can get the soil and using the wheelbarrow, I can bring it in and I can cover this area right here, rake it out, pack it down, and then it's ready for the arbor. All right, back to work. I dumped a load of weeds and roots that were in here, right over there in that burn pile. Now I got to get some dirt. So this whole section right here is eventually going to be my lawn, but it's the old potato patch. So I still got to remove this to level it off. So here's some nice dirt right here, so I can take it along the line, get it right down flush to the lawn here, and killing two birds with one stone, expanding the lawn a little bit further and hauling the dirt way over there to where the arbor is going to be. Here it is. I took out 2 wheelbarrow loads and raked it and just gonna leave it, and that's it. So it's level. Now there's that saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah, my lawn will not be completed in one season. So if I keep chipping away at it, this is that much less to do. All right, let's go see where I took all this soil. Here it is. The first load that I brought in, I dumped it off over here and then I packed it down, and here's the second wheelbarrow load. And what I'm gonna do is put it on here. So this may look like it's nice and level, but it's actually very, very soft. And I wanna get some more of that darker soil, heavier, and mix it in with this, and I'll just rake it in, pack it down. I got my roller right there. And then the place will be ready for the arbor that's gonna go right over here. All right, let's dump it and start raking. It looks so much better when it's packed down, so use the roller here. Now this roller, you just fill it up with water, and here's the little plug right over here. So in the fall time, I empty it so it doesn't freeze and crack the sides in the winter time if it's frozen with water. Anyways, I empty it, but in the summertime I use it, so it's much easier than by foot, you know, trying to pack it down. That weighs probably about maybe 150 kilos, I'm guessing. Like, it weighs a lot. You don't want that to go on your feet. And you just pack it down. Now tomorrow we're going to be having rain in the forecast. So the rain will come down, it'll pack it down a little bit more, and probably some little humps and low depressions will be created, so I can come back then and just do some touch-ups. But eventually this will be nice and flat, and it's a much wider area for me to get into my shop. So yeah, this right here will be dug out, and let's walk over here. Let's check this out. So yeah, this bush right here is going to be dug out, and we'll leave that one probably transplanted this way, so we have 2 of the same. They have to be trimmed, and it'll be a much wider entrance going through the arbor and into the work area. I think it's going to look really cool. So yeah, it's going to go like this right across. So these purple flowers will stay. These ones right here will have to probably come out. I don't know, maybe, but for sure those green ones right there. And that rock will move, and we'll dig that out. That'll be in the fall time. So there it is. Prep work all done. I still have some time today, so I decided to expand the lawn a bit. So I took off the top layer and hauled it over there. Now I'm going to load it up into the wheelbarrow. And right over there where the willow is, there's a hole. And I want to fill in that hole. This area right beside the willow tree needs to be filled in, because it's always a pain when I'm coming and I'm mowing the lawn over here. And I'm mowing, everything is good, and then you get to this dip right here, and I end up chewing the blade onto the dirt. So I figure, take this dirt from over there and just haul it and just fill this in. And like they say, "Так красивочка будет." It's going to be looking really good. All right, back to work. This little dip that was here is now leveled off. So 2 wheelbarrow loads of the dirt put into here, and I packed it down, and then I raked it to give it a nice even finish, and looks so much better. And I was taking the dirt from here, so part of it went for where the arbor is going to be, and some of it went over there. So the lawn expanded a little bit more. Cool. So eventually, this is just going to be a memory, this old potato patch. You know, it's like, I cut the grass down just so that it wouldn't be as high. But it's going to end up looking like that. Everything is all just going to be nicely done. And of course, we're going to have the birch trees going to be growing, the oak, which is the dup, and the yolka, which is the fir tree over there. Still haven't figured out what we're going to put over there. We got that piece of rebar. The willow in the corner. It's going to look pretty cool. The tomatoes are looking pretty good this year. I mean, check the size of these guys. Look at that. They are monsters. So here's my hand. They're bigger than my hand. They're huge. I got a whole bunch of them. The cucumbers are pretty much finished now. So Vika has been tearing them out, and the tomatoes are still going strong. Same with the peppers. Saturday, August 16th, 2025. Yep, back at the dacha. Actually, there's the dacha. That's a nice little creepy crawler going over a little trellis arbor. All right, so here at the dacha, it is kind of a, well, what you would say, pasmurny dozhny dень. It's kind of raining, cloudy. So Vika and I came here, had to pick the tomatoes and the peppers, and we even got some right over here. So there it is, and that's it. We're done pretty much for today. There's really not much that we could do here. So my compilation for the last week, since we came back from our trip to Lake Baikal, we've been coming out here, but the weather's been kind of iffy. One day it's nice, one day it's raining. So, you know, it is what it is. I guess that's the way they say it. So with all said and done, I think I'm gonna head her out of here. There's not much more that we could do. The grass, well, can't mow the lawn when it's raining, so can't do that. Can't really do any outdoor projects. 2-3 days ago, I was working on this right here. I thought that I would assemble my arbor and I would put it in. All I managed to do was just get the ground prep done. So that's that. Anyways, that's my compilation, because it was just little short snippets throughout the week that we were here. And that's it. All right, I gotta go. So if you enjoyed this little compilation of all these little snippets, you know what to do. Smash the like button, leave a comment, share it. And until the next video, paka paka.